Spring has come, see it
So I'm looking
in the
forward to getting into the music with possibilities and everything else that's going on in your world.
Yeah.
So thank you for taking a minute out today.
Oh, thanks for meeting with me.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you
it.
bet. So let's begin our journey with this. 5 years ago, this
Mhm.
pandemic changed so many things about all
Mm.
of our lives, especially musicians. How did you get through that era, and how has it influenced the way that you do things now?
Um, Gosh, that's a great question. How did I get through it? Well, it was funny because my last album came out in February, I think 28th of 2020. And so nothing really happened with it. And I was feeling very discouraged that way. And, just everybody was feeling so stressed out with the whole pandemic. So for me, being able to play even by myself, and then just kind of take inspiration from people online and getting out in nature. Those were all kind of my ways of doing it. I also got really deep into meditation and breath work, and those were kind of all my avenues of staying sane. Um, I was kind of grateful that I did have an album, so there was something that I could kind of focus on a little bit with people and share. But it was trying as an artist, to kind of stay motivated.
It's interesting. We actually spoke before that release. I think the interview came out in December of 2019. So
Mm.
it was kind of before that. And I remember that period very well, all of those albums that were kind of on the cusp. So when you look back on that, people had more latitude to listen. Did the album do okay? Was there,
Everything just kind of like went, because I had a tour that was getting planned and all these different things, and it just didn't go too many places. And I didn't feel like it was as important as everything else that was going on. It was hard to promote yourself when there's a pandemic. You're in the middle of a pandemic and people are dying. So it felt really, at least for me, just hard to self-promote. So I just kind of went with that and just said, you know what? It is what it is. The album did okay, but it wasn't like what I had dreamed about. So,
well, I
yeah.
would imagine in the realm of jazz, a lot of it's driven by shows. It's not like other genres where you can just kind of ride on people just getting the album or buying it. It's really fueled off of that. So I would imagine that that's a huge thing. If you can't perform live, if you can't tour, it's gonna hurt things.
Yeah, I was really lucky that I had enough couple of little connections with people who were doing online things, whether it was collaborations. It wasn't always my stuff. I had one thing that I did online with a arts organization in the Hartford area, and I was able to do kind of like a online concert. But in general, there weren't a lot of things. Actually, I think of it now that I think of it, the Litchfield Jazz Fest did something that was, like an online festival. And so there were a handful of things that I was able to do, but not all of it was with my music. But I was still really grateful for the things that I did get to do during that time. So, yeah.
So it has to feel good. And I know we're kind of past the whole COVID time, but to be able to be back at it and to have a new album out and touring and all of that, is the dust kind of settled on being bespeckled by the fact that all of it's come back?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of stuff is possible right now, not to be using that same word as my album, but it just seems that there are a lot more opportunities, which is really great. I mean, there's so many great albums out right now. If I don't think that hasn't been the case necessarily in the last few years, in my opinion. And like this year, there's just so many good albums. I do my own, it's not mine, but I'm on a show where we do like best of jazz. And there's so many new albums that are great that I feel lucky to be among everybody, but also like, yeah, it's there, everybody's out there again, and you can just feel the vibrancy of it. So it feels good.
So, possibilities, talk to me about this album. What was kind of the vision and just how does it feel to have this out?
The vision for the album was that I do think that the world needs a little more hope in it at the moment. And I felt like as a musician, I my job is to be, where follow the calling that I feel as a vision. And my vision is that there is a lot more possibilities out there for us if we just kind of let ourselves believe that. I also was going through a lot of transitions from the pandemic personally and into, non-pandemic times. And so the album is kind of a reflection on that. Even when we are starting over, or if we're, um, venturing into new territories, that there's always more than we can see around us. And if we just kind of allow ourselves through good and bad times to imagine that that exists, it kind of helps you to get through those times. So that each of the songs has a little bit of that in it, whether it's a song of pain and sorrow, or it's a more hopeful song. They're all kind of aiming towards that. Yeah.
So what are you hoping the listener gets from this album?
Um, a little bit of hope and a little bit of encouragement. Maybe they'll be able to see themselves in one or more songs, that the emotion behind it, the theme behind it. Um, I feel like they're really accessible songs for people who are either jazz lovers or people who are not. And having well, I have two vocalists on it, but having the vocalists on it really, I think, access a different type of audience who might not, listen to instrumental jazz like I've done on my last couple albums. So I hope that more people can connect and just have that sense that that there's a bigger world out there than sometimes we're led to believe.
So you've mentioned hope a few times, and obviously we're going through probably parallel scary times that we were going through in COVID, but in a
Mhm.
different level right now.
Mhm.
Are you cognizant when you're performing and putting music out that this is really an escape for the audience? This is a big deal. We really need it more than ever right now.
Yeah, and actually, I think more than escape, more of like a deepening of their connection back to community, that, we are connected, interconnected as humans, and that the division that's being sowed among in like on TV and everywhere is not reality.
Right.
And the reality is that we are really deeply connected, and to nature and all of that. And so my hope is when I'm performing that they can get that sense and leave encouraged a little bit instead of depleted. I feel depleted often on many days. And so I really do kind of carry that with me, that like if I can be a little bit of a lightening in their day, a
Yeah.
lightening of the load that we all carry, that would be amazing. Yeah.
So what are you doing for live shows? What's going on with presenting the album and in general, just with tours?
Yeah, so most of the stuff's going to be happening in the new year. I have a concert in this area in Hartford, at Trinity College, and then I also have a couple of tours planned out west to the Chicago, Wisconsin area, and then hopeful like maybe April, I'll be getting down to the Maryland area. So those are the two that are kind of in the works, but I'd love to do more. It's just getting that happening.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to get a copy, I know the thing that kind of emerged from that pandemic era was Bandcamp. Where's the best place to get a copy that would benefit you the most?
Yeah, they can go on Bandcamp on Truth Revolution Records. They can get a CD there. We do have LPs that are going to be coming out very soon. So, and that'll be kind of special because I think there's going to be a new song on there that's not released on the CD, or online. Um, and that you can do through my website. So it's jenallenmusic.com.
Okay, I will put all those links in the show notes. So great to catch up with you, Jen. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Best of luck with the release. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Take care.
You bet. And before you